Do you think that the yellow and the green really bring out the highlights in my eyes?
Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
When you make cabinets, usually you build the cabinet first and then make the drawers to fit. This time I'm gonna start with the drawers and build the cabinet around them. This one long piece of MDF is gonna be both the fronts and the backs of all 16 of the drawers. I'm gonna cut grooves all the way down for the sides of the drawers, and then I'll split it down the middle. Using a 1/2 inch wide stack of dado blades, my first cut is gonna be a 1/2 inch wide rabbet on the end of this board. I want there to be a 2 inch space between each groove, so I've cut this 2.5 inch block for my next cut. I'll slide it up against the edge of my blades, and then I'll lock this down as a stop block. This thin 1/2 inch wide strip will help me register each cut. I'll hot glue it in place using the stop block and that rabbet on the end of the board. Once that's dry, I can remove this block. And now it's just a matter of cutting a groove and sliding it over on top of that key each time. I cut out this 1/8 inch thick piece of hardboard for the bottoms of the drawers. And it'll fit into this rabbet that I just cut. These 17 pieces are all gonna be the sides of the drawers. Aside from adding strength, the main reason for making these notches is that all of the dividers will line up nice and square. With that dry, I can glue on this hardboard panel to the bottom. I'll make a couple passes over my dado blades to make the drawer pulls. Well, now comes the fun part. All I need to do is chop these apart, and I've got a whole bunch of drawers. I'll start by trying to cut as close to the center of this one as I can. Then I'll be able to set a stop block all the way down. If I can make this one really accurate, the rest should fall into place. Now I can adjust my fence to make a series of equal cuts. That sure beats trying to make 16 individual drawers. To figure out the width of these horizontal dividers, I'm using some 1/4 inch spacers between each of the drawers. Plus, I'm going to add a playing card in between each one. That'll give me the size with a little breathing room for the drawers to slide in and out. The depth of all of these dividers is just going to be the depth of the drawers. To set up for the slots in the dividers, I'm gonna use a drawer, 1/4 inch board, and this is just gonna be a stop block for my fence. And I'm also gonna stick in a couple of playing cards for spacers. About like that. Lock that in, and those will make 2 of the cuts. I've got a 1/4 inch stack of dado blades. I've raised it as high as it'll go, and I'm gonna cut to the halfway point on each board. Cutting this center groove is gonna be a little tricky. I think what I'm gonna do is put in a couple of spacers in these slots I just cut, and then I can line up a couple of drawers and put in another spacer. I'm glad I cut an extra one of these dividers so I can run a test on it. That one feels kind of loose. And this one's too tight. So it looks like I need to tighten up this gap here by moving my fence over just slightly. All right, I think that's it. After some trial and error, it looks like that's a good fit. I think maybe if you did the center slot first and then cut the outside slots, you might have better luck. I'm positive you can come up with better ways to do this. what I'm gonna do on the vertical dividers is cut them all at once on this long strip. I've already cut the first slot to the halfway point, and then I'm gonna use another piece as a key, and one of the drawers as a spacer up against the blade. So I can move this up against that side, and I'm gonna add the thickness of 4 playing cards to my fence. For the next 2 dividers, I should just be able to line it up using these slots. I'm pretty sure you can come up with a way better solution for cutting those slots than I just did. It seems like these are gonna work, but I'd love to hear your suggestions. Just leave them down in the comments. I'll basically use that same system to cut the grooves in the 2 side pieces. This is 1/2 inch MDF, so I'll go halfway through. I'm using 1/2 inch boards for the top and bottom and just gluing them right on. And finally, I cut a piece of hardboard that I can glue on the back. There's a pretty good chance you like to watch my show because you like to make things. I want to introduce you to a product that you're gonna love. It's called Little Bits, and it's more than just a product. It's really a revolutionary way of thinking about building and prototyping with electronics. The Little Bits kits come with all of these open source hardware electronic modules that hook together with magnets. And that's just what I put together in just a few seconds. It's kind of like my show. Anybody can do this. Kids that are 7 or 8 years old, but it's also good for professionals who actually want to build some working prototypes. There's Arduino, there's even a cloud module so that you could build something and program it to operate using your phone. Take a moment to look around littlebits.com and see for yourself all of the possibilities this system has. And Little Bits is offering a special deal just for my viewers. You'll get $20 off of your first kit by just entering promo code Woodworking at checkout. If you live in the United States, they'll throw in free shipping. Of course, if you want one of these storage cabinets, you'll have to make your own. And if you'd like to make your own small parts cabinet, check down in the description for a free set of plans. I mean, why go to the store and spend 15, 20 bucks on a small parts cabinet when you can make your own for, well, twice that amount? As always, I want to thank you for watching Woodworking for Mere Mortals, where I post brand new woodworking videos every Friday. It was lovely spending time with you this week. I'll see you next time. Bye.